It's the end of a long day. You pour a drink, the first sip hits, and somewhere behind your ribs something quietly loosens. A small, warm glow. A feeling of finally. You think you learned to love that feeling. You didn't. You inherited it from an ape who died 10 million years before the first human ever walked the earth. And it all comes down to a single typo in your DNA. One misspelled letter in one gene. And once you see it, you'll never drink the same way again. Here's the strange truth almost nobody hears. Your taste for alcohol is not a modern vice. It is not a weakness of character. It is one of the oldest survival tools you carry, older than fire, older than language, older than humanity itself. To understand it, we have to go back, way back, long before there were any people to get drunk. So let's travel. Roll the clock back past everything you think of as the past. Past the internet, past cities, past farming. That was only 12,000 years ago. Keep going. Past the first humans, 300,000 years. Past the day our ancestors first tamed fire, around 1 million years back. And don't stop, because all of that, every war, every empire, every human who has ever lived fits into one tiny sliver at the very end of the story we're about to tell. Keep falling backward until the number reads 10 million years. There are no humans here. Your ancestor is an ape, living high in the trees of an ancient forest. Up there, life is simple. You eat fruit, fresh, ripe fruit, plucked straight from the branch. But the world is changing. The climate is shifting, the forests are thinning out, and your ancestors are being forced to spend more and more time down on the ground. And the ground is a different world, because on the forest floor, the fruit has already fallen. It's been lying there, bruised, overripe, rotting. Tiny yeasts have crawled into it and started eating its sugars. And as they feed, they leave something behind. Alcohol, that sweet, sharp, sickly smell of fermentation, the smell of rot. The smell, though no animal knows it yet, of booze. And here's the thing, for almost every animal, that fallen fruit is a trap. Ethanol, alcohol, is toxic. It's poison. An animal that eats too much fermented fruit gets sick, gets clumsy, gets drunk, disoriented, slow, vulnerable, in a world full of things, waiting to eat it. So most creatures leave the rotting fruit alone. They can't handle it. The fallen feast just sits there untouched, surrounded by starving animals who can't risk a single bite. All that food, all those calories, locked behind a poison, and in a hungry world, whoever cracks that lock wins everything. Then in one single ancestor, something changes. Not a big change, the smallest change imaginable. One letter in one gene flips a single building block at a spot scientists now call position 294, swaps for another. That's it. That's the whole event. One typo in 3 billion letters of DNA, but that one typo rebuilt an enzyme. It's called ADH4, and it lives in your mouth, your throat, your stomach, the very first thing alcohol touches when it enters your body. And that tiny change made this enzyme 40 times better at breaking ethanol down. 40 times. And this isn't a guess. In 2015, scientists traced that exact mutation and published it in the journal PNAS. They dated it to roughly 10 million years ago, to the common ancestor we share with chimpanzees and gorillas. One letter, 40 times the power, a real, measurable, written into your body right now. Suddenly, this one ancestor could do what almost nothing else could. It could eat the fallen, fermenting fruit, the poison feast everyone else had to walk past, and turn it into pure, clean energy. An entire food source all to itself. In a world where the next meal was never guaranteed, that ape didn't just survive, it thrived. It had children, and those children carried the gene. But evolution may not have stopped at able to eat it. So why does the smell of a bar, yeast, sugar, fermentation pull at something older than you are? Here's the part nobody can fully prove, but a lot of scientists believe. Because if the smell of alcohol meant ripe fruit, meant sugar, meant calories, survival, then the ape who was drawn to that smell would find food faster than the ape who ignored it. So the brain may have rewired. The scent of fermentation became a beacon, a signal that lit up the reward centers and said, that way, food, go. Now let me be honest with you. This part, the craving, the pull, isn't settled fact. It's a hypothesis. Some scientists, led by a biologist named Robert Dudley, call it the drunken monkey. The enzyme we can prove. The hunger for the smell we strongly suspect. And it would explain an awful lot, because the apes who chased that smell ate more, survived more, and passed down too. Things together, the body that could handle alcohol and the brain that was pulled toward it. That ape is your ancestor, the same one we share with chimpanzees and gorillas. You are descended, quite literally, from the apes who learned to eat rotten fruit and to like it. So sit with this for a second. That warm pull you feel toward a drink, that little glow of reward, that sense of finally, it isn't new. It isn't a habit you picked up. It's a 10 million-year-old voice, buried in the oldest part of your brain, doing exactly what it was built to do, telling you found something precious. Something that means warmth, energy, survival. Your body still treats alcohol the way it always has, as food, as fuel, the enzymes sitting in your mouth right now, breaking down that sip. It's the same gift, that single ancestor, passed down unbroken, across 10 million years and 1,000 species, all the way to you. But here is the trap, and it's a brutal one. The alcohol in that fallen, fermenting fruit was weak, 1, maybe 2%, to feel anything from it. Your ancestor would have had to eat an almost impossible amount, whole wheelbarrow of rotting fruit in one sitting just to catch the faintest buzz. The entire system, the enzyme, the craving, the reward, was tuned for a tiny, harmless trickle. It was never, ever built for what came next. Because eventually your descendants got clever. They learned to ferment on purpose, to make wine, to make beer, and then they learned to distill it. 40%, 50 strengths that do not exist anywhere in the natural world. Nothing your ancestor ever met on that forest floor came even close. Think about what that means. The dose your ape had to forage for all day, eating fruit, until it was sick, you can now pour into a glass in 2 seconds. 2 shots, same enzyme, same craving, same ancient reward circuit, glowing and saying more, more, this is good, this is survival. All of it pointed at a bottle 20 times stronger than anything it was designed to handle. That's why alcohol gets its hooks in so deep. It isn't a stranger to your body. It's the opposite. It's something achingly, ancestrally familiar. A food we have loved for 10 million years, handed to us in a form strong enough to destroy us. The signal that once whispered survival now screams more. And it's aiming you straight at the thing that can take everything from you. So that strange, powerful pull you might feel toward a drink, and the way it can quietly turn on you. It was never a flaw in you. You're not broken for feeling it. It's a gift that worked too well, an ancient survival tool, perfectly designed for a world of rotting fruit, dropped into a world of distilled spirits it could never have imagined. The ape who first swallowed that fermenting fruit on the forest floor saved your entire bloodline. It found food where there was only poison. It turned rot into life, and it had no idea what it was starting. It could never have known that 10 million years later, its descendants would build empires, and rituals, celebrations, and tragedies, entire industries and entire heartbreaks, all around the thing it simply stumbled into one hungry afternoon. The forest is gone. The fallen fruit is gone. The ape is long, long gone. But the gift it passed down, the body that turns alcohol into fuel, the brain that still lights. Up at the very smell of it, it's still here. It's just staring at a bottle now. You're not weak. You're just old. Older than fire, older than language, older than you think.